Welcome MTA fans to another edition of Motor Madness right here on the MTA YouTube channel. If you're new here, be sure to crush that subscribe button, turn on all notifications because today we have got 8 of the best diecast monster trucks representing the Motor Madness series here on the brand new track at the MTA Arena. These guys are going to be flying high, all to try to chase a championship win by the end of the night, and the bracket's going to break down as 8 trucks will compete head-to-head, side-by-side, monster truck racing. Now we're going to go ahead and take a look at our bracket and how round 1 action is going to shake down. And looking at your first matchup, it looks like Bustin' Loose will take on Reptoid. That's going to be followed by none other than the Gravedigger taking on Predator. Other side of the bracket, Sudden Impact is going to be taking on Bulldozer, and then the Prowler Machine taking on Goldberg. So a lot of great racing here to come tonight on Motor Madness. Now getting right to the action. Round 1 coming right at you. We're going to see Ron Nelson out of Conroe, Texas in the Bustin' Loose Chevrolet get set to take on Jim Jack out of Milton, Florida. He's driving the Reptoid powered by a big block Chevrolet. He is now staged and ready to go on that far lane. Ron Nelson and Bustin' Loose, the Chevrolet over here on the inside lane. Both these drivers are staged and ready to go. Who is going to advance on in the semifinals and take home a round 1 victory? There they go down the straightaway now. They're dead even up and over no man's land and Bustin' Loose. Ron Nelson getting a big time win over Jim Jack in the Reptoid as he went off the track there, tagging that far wall. Nonetheless, Ron Nelson out of Conroe, Texas, Bustin' Loose, advancing on in the semifinal competition. Reptoid on the trailer early tonight. But next up in round 1 competition, hailing out of Kildover Hills, North Carolina, Dennis Anderson returns in the Gravedigger. He is now set to take on the veteran himself out of Brentwood, Tennessee, Alan Pizzo and Predator, powered by a big block Chevrolet. Over here on the inside lane, Gravedigger number 7 over on the outside lane. TNN Motor Madness veterans here to throw it down inside a round 1 competition. Who's it going to be as we get staged and ready for green now? Off the line they go. They're pretty even down the straightaway through no man's land and across the finish line. It looked like Gravedigger pulls it out over on the outside lane. Not sure what happened to Alan Pizzo as he had the Gravedigger from the start. We are going to go down and check out our MTA Motor Madness replay, try to get a grasp of what happened right here in this race. Right here from the get-go and off the line, Alan Pizzo and Predator has a slight lead on the Gravedigger. Watch now as they go over the first jump through no man's land. There you see Predator sticks it on the back tires just for a brief second. That may have been all it needed for Dennis Anderson and the Gravedigger to sweep out a win out of that far lane. Nonetheless, Gravedigger meets up with Bustin' Loose in semifinals. But next up, out of Frackville, Pennsylvania, John Seasock returns in the Sudden Impact Ford, now ready to take on Cousin Rob now in the Big Bad Bulldozer out of Paxton, Illinois, staged now in that far lane out of the men's camp. Again, John Seasock out of Frackville, Pennsylvania, the former volunteer firefighter. Sudden Impact Ford ready to go on the inside lane. Who's it going to be going on in the semifinals? The green light goes down now and off the line they go. Sudden Impact with the lead. Bulldozer can't come up with it. Making contact right in the center of the track as Bulldozer tried to come back on John Seasock and Sudden Impact. Both these drivers, I don't think, got all of the ramp, but since both of them didn't, they crossed the finish line. John Seasock and Sudden Impact is your round 1 winner. Watch this photo finish right here as they come across the line. It wasn't by much. Seasock edged him out, and Bulldozer will go on the trailer, and Sudden Impact advancing on in a semifinal competition. Now, we're going to find out who Sudden Impact meets in that semifinal because out of Brentwood, Tennessee, Dave Pizzo returning in Prowler. He is now set to take on the Paxton, Illinois native, Tom Mintz and Goldberg. The truck based out of Atlanta, Georgia, the former WCW wrestling truck in that far lane, taking on Prowler. Tom Mintz made a big name for himself in that truck. What does the Chevrolet-powered cat in the near lane have? The Prowler Machine ready to go, taking on Goldberg. Here's the green light to close out round 1, and Goldberg with the lead now. Prowler can't come up with it, and Tom Mintz, Goldberg putting the futuristic SUV all the way into the winner's circle here tonight to close out round 1 competition. Dave Pizzo and Prowler going on the trailer early tonight, and Goldberg will advance on in the semifinal competition to take on John Seasock and Sudden Impact. Ladies and gentlemen, we're just getting started. We got a lot more great racing still to come. We're going to see Gravedigger take on Bustin' Loose, John Seasock and Sudden Impact take on Tom Mintz and Goldberg. Semifinal action is coming up next on MTA Motor Madness. We'll be back after the break.
This isn't your typical motorsports podcast. You're listening to Crush This, a monster truck podcast presented by High Octane Coffee and J Concepts. A show where we take you inside the minds of your favorite drivers, past and present, of the monster truck industry. And now, your hosts, Brad Shaw and Dan Chichagash. Buckle in. The show starts now.
And welcome back to MTA Motor Madness right here on the MTA YouTube channel. Here's how semifinal action is going to shake down. We're going to see Ron Nelson and Bustin' Loose take on Dennis Anderson in the Gravedigger, followed by John Seasock and Sudden Impact to take on Tom Mintz in Goldberg. Semi-final action guaranteed to be a slobber knocker out here on the MTA circuit as we get ready to start off with our first semi-final matchup. And up in the line right now, based out of Conroe, Texas, Ron Nelson and Bustin' Loose getting set to take on the Kill Devil Hill native, Dennis Anderson and Gravedigger number 7, who's now on the inside lane. Last round he ran on the outside lane. Wants to give both lanes a try here tonight. Bustin' Loose, Ron Nelson looks strong inside of round 1. He's got his hands full here tonight. Who's going to go across that finish line first? Bustin' Loose and Gravedigger now. There's the green light off the line. Bustin' Loose pulling a slight lead. The Gravedigger trying to come back through no man's land. And Ron Nelson will turn it over, trying to chase down the Gravedigger on the other side of the track, going across the finish line. Dennis Anderson and Gravedigger needed to make up a little bit of ground coming through no man's land. We're going to go back and check out our MTA Motor Madness replay and try to figure out how this all went down. Going over that last set of cars right here off the line. Ron Nelson and Bustin' Loose on the outside lane has a slight lead on the Digger. Watch now as they go up and over no man's land. The boat truck settling down and Gravedigger pulls it out right at the line. And your winner will be Dennis Anderson and Gravedigger by inches, taking out Ron Nelson and Bustin' Loose as he goes upside down. Nonetheless, Dennis Anderson and the Gravedigger will advance on into our MTA Motor Madness final round. The question remains, who will he meet there? Will it be Tom Mintz out of Paxton, Illinois in Goldberg, or is it going to be John Seasock out of Frackville, Pennsylvania? Sudden Impact, who went head-to-head with Bulldozer in the last round, making a little bit of contact right there towards the end of the shutdown area. John Seasock now into that far lane. Tom Mintz stage over on the inside lane. One of these drivers will get a matchup against Dennis Anderson and Gravedigger in the MTA Motor Madness final. Who's it going to be? Stage now, and the green light goes down off the line. Goldberg with a slight lead. Sudden Impact trying to make up the ground here, and Goldberg gets across the finish line first, but our MTA tech officials down there on the track saying that Tom Mintz did not get both front tires up on the first jump, and it looks like John Seasock and Sudden Impact is going to the finals on a technicality. Watch right here as they come down the straightaway. Tom Mintz and Goldberg with a big-time lead up and over the first jump right here through no man's land. Gets crossed up. Only the left front tire hits the first jump, going through the center of the track. Does not make a legal pass, so your winner, John Seasock and Sudden Impact, will match up against Dennis Anderson and the Gravedigger in our MTA Motor Madness final. Ladies and gentlemen, don't go anywhere. The finals are coming up next. Get ready for Gravedigger, Sudden Impact. You won't want to miss it. We're back after the break. If you can't get enough Diecast monster truck racing action right here on MTA, be sure to check out our friends over at the Midwest Madness YouTube channel. Get ready to romp and stomp all over the track, tear up some trucks, and watch the carnage unfold. They host some of the best side-by-side Diecast monster truck racing you will ever see. Also, check out all of our social medias. You can find them on Instagram, Facebook, as well as the Midwest Madness YouTube channel. Some great racing action you don't want to miss. Be sure to go over there and check them out. Like their videos and subscribe to the Midwest Madness YouTube channel. Welcome back to Motor Madness right here on the MTA YouTube channel, and we are ready to go for our final round showdown. John Seasock in Sudden Impact to take on Dennis Anderson in the Gravedigger, a classic Ford versus Chevrolet matchup to see who will claim the Motor Madness Championship here tonight. First out of Kill Devil Hills, North Carolina, Dennis Anderson in the Gravedigger, ready now to take on John Seasock out of Frackville, Pennsylvania in his '99 Ford F-250. Super Duty ready to go on the inside lane. One of these drivers is going to walk away here tonight as your Motor Madness champion. Who's it going to be? Gravedigger taking on Sudden Impact as we get set for green now, and off the line they go down the straightaway. Gravedigger with a slight lead. Sudden Impact trying to come back on him, and it looks like the Gravedigger will take out Sudden Impact, not by much, but it gets it across the finish line first, tagging the wall down there in the shutdown area. We are going to go back and take a look at your MTA Motor Madness replay, figuring out how this final round showdown went down right here on the outside lane. Dennis Anderson and the Gravedigger pulls about half a truck of lead over John Seasock and Sudden Impact, who tries to gather it up right there in no man's land, but Dennis Anderson and the Gravedigger sweeps it across the finish line by about half a truck, putting Sudden Impact on the trailer. So ladies and gentlemen, your Motor Madness winner here tonight is going to be Dennis Anderson in the Gravedigger. And ladies and gentlemen, we hope you had a great time joining us right here on the MTA YouTube channel for a little bit of MTA Motor Madness, as 8 of the best diecast monster trucks in the world threw it down in a bracket series race trying to claim the Motor Madness Championship. Thank y'all so much for joining us. Be sure, if you haven't already, crush that subscribe button and follow us on all of our social medias, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, as well as right here on the MTA YouTube channel. Thank y'all so much. Again, if you haven't already, be sure to crush that subscribe button, and I'll catch you guys down the road.